Sewing machine, you say? Why, yes, I sew. Poorly. And today, we're sewing masks. Check it out. Okay, there we go. I can't sew, but I have a sewing machine, and so that makes me think I can sew. If you all saw my last episode, you know that there is a shortage of PPE, personal protective equipment. Actually, you didn't even have to see my last episode to know that. It's in the news everywhere. I'm currently 3D printing a bunch of face shields, but I also wanted to put my sewing machine to use, and so I'm now making fabric masks to send up to the hospital. So there are a lot of great resources out there to guide you on making your own masks. Your local hospital website actually might even have some instructions for them. The pattern that I'm using actually came from my friend Michael and his folks over at bamaskmaker.org. They have tons of great printable patterns that you can just print right out and cut your fabric. And so I used this as some inspiration to make these masks. They also have these really cool little cards that you can include with the masks when you submit them to the hospital. And then they also have a great database of hospitals that are looking for PPE. So check them out, bamaskmaker.org. I'll put the link in the description below. So what do you need to make face masks? Well, you need some fabric. And for these ones, I'm using a flannel for the backside, just a white flannel. You can use whatever color you want. And then for the front side, I actually am nerding out with some Star Wars fabric. I got these online, I believe from Joann Fabrics, and it was super quick shipping to get here. So thank you, Joann Fabrics, for being open and accommodating to the needs of our people on the front lines. So I chose the accordion mask. Why is it an accordion mask? These pleats on it, and it makes it go bigger like this. I picked this because I liked the design, and I thought that pleats were going to be easy to sew. Boy, was I mistaken. And I've already printed, or I've already sewn, I think, 10 of these, and I have pre-cut fabric for another 20 of them. So my life is kind of miserable right now because of the pleats. Maybe you're better at pleating than I am. I'm awful at it, but practice makes perfect. This is number 10, and I think my pleats are getting a little bit better. So, but the great thing about these plans is that they tell you where to mark off your fold marks. There's also some really great illustrated instructions on bamaskmaker.org, so definitely check them out if you need some guidance. All right, so you need your 2 pieces of fabric, and they're cut at different sizes based on different needs. For adults, it's around, what does it say on here? I forget how big the adult one is, but I have a bunch of adults and a bunch of kids. I'll leave the measurements and stuff in the description below, but they are different sizes based on adult or children. And then you're also going to need some elastic cord. You can buy this off of eBay, Amazon if they're shipping quickly. You can even get these at joannfabric.com or Michael's, any of your craft stores. Be careful when you're buying this online though. This stuff is 3mm elastic cord, which is actually perfect. On eBay, I bought something that said it was for masks, but it's a bungee material and it's way too taut for masks, or at least for my purposes for masks. So just be wary if you're shopping around trying to find your materials and you go to eBay. Lots of people are trying to capitalize on the fact that everyone's making masks now. And so they're going to be putting in keywords and stuff that doesn't make sense. So now I have 30 meters worth of bungee cord here that I need to find a project for. So buyer beware. So you need your elastic bands. And again, they're going to be different lengths based on masks for children and adults. For adults, they are 7 inches. One piece of guidance that I have is, which I got from my hospital's website, not necessarily the BMS Maker website, is to tie a knot at the end at each of these ends. And that's going to help hold these better inside the masks. So you have your fabric, you have your elastic cord. Let's start sewing this together. Okay, so first you want to make sure that the good side is facing in. So I have my darker colors facing in and my muted colors on the back. So that's my back side. I'm just going to line up. So your first stitches are going to be on the bottom, which is, so because Star Wars, the logo is facing up, this is my bottom. So I'm going to start about 3/4 of the way through and run my first seam. And I need to do that because eventually when I come all the way around, I'm going to need to leave a space here so I can flip this inside out. Actually, I'm going to go further over. Okay, so let's all right, now turn. And this is where we're going to put our first elastic piece in. And what you're going to do is just put it inside. And so like I said, I knotted these ends. And so I'm going to put the knot just so it's on the outside, and the rest of the cord goes on the inside. And I'm going to clamp down my foot and run this through. And now I'm going to go reverse back over it just to give it some additional strength over that cord. Okay. Now I've clearly done an awful job of cutting these the same size. As you can see, my flannel is sticking out at the bottom here. Okay, so then I reach in and I'm going to pull the bottom part of the elastic out here under the foot, and actually I'm going to go up a little bit and same thing, run over it. Oh. Run over it, and then go backwards. And then bring it down. Okay. Not too shabby. Now, I'm going to run this up, and I need to give it about maybe 3 inches, 2 inches, whatever that is, so I have enough space to flip this out. Okay. Okay, so this is the easy part. Let me just trim my extra threads here. Okay, and now we're just going to flip this out. Sorry, that was my Canadian coming out. Yes, I have some Canadian in me. Probably why I'm so affable and altruistic. Okay, so there we go. We have the foundation of our mask. That's really cool. Okay, so now I'm going to sew the bottom of this real quick. All right, so now that's all closed up. So now we have to start making the pleats, which this is the hardest most frustrating part of the entire process. This is where I spend most of my time putting these together. Now I'm sure if you've been sewing for a long time, it's very easy, but I mostly work with 3D printing and woodworking and models. I am not a crafty sewer yet. But if you would like to teach me how to sew, please come on over after we're allowed to hang out together. All right, so pretty much all I do is I just pinch one side, and then I run it through the sewing machine, and then I pinch again on the other side. Since this is the top, I want the pleats facing down, so I'm going to pinch like so. One. Now, so our friends over at beamaskmaker.org on their template actually put these nice mark lines for the seams. I'm just gonna eyeball it because my cuts are uneven, meaning that I have some weird polygon shape here. Okay, so just pinch and pinch and pinch. 1, 2. You need 4 pinches. Can you see that? Probably not, because it's black fabric. But I assure you there are 4 pinches right here. And so then I'm going to carefully put this into the sewing machine. And this is usually the part where I get the most grief from this cheap sewing machine. And here we go. And I think that actually doesn't look that bad, so I'm not going to take it out just yet. Now I'm going to run a seam at the top here. Okay. All right, so I have my 3 pleats, 1, 2, 3, and I'm just going to kind of line it up on the other side now. And actually I'm going to do it this way because I'm going to run it through that way. So we got my bottom one, I got my middle one, and I got my top one. And okay. We now have a mask. Now what we'll do is I'm going to run these through the iron. This actually might be the best one yet. This is number 11, I think. But here you go. We have a mask. Oh, that's great. Okay. That's actually not bad at all. It took me 11 tries to get to this quality, and it's still not the best in the world. But again, it's better than nothing, which is what everyone's working with right now. Nothing. So if you can sew, if you have a sewing machine, give this a whirl. Head on over to beamaskmaker.org. They have all types of plans, from the accordion style to the regular style. I wish I had gone with a different style because these pleats are just a headache. But all my stuff is cut for pleats, so I'm just going to mire through, and much like my dovetailing experience, I'm just going to keep on doing it until I get really good at doing pleats. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Big subscriber shout outs this week to Mr. Charles Sporn, Miss Sarah McGinnis, my friend Samantha Ann down in Texas, and Mr. Will Stevenson, my old friend from the Grand. I hope you're well, my friend. Thanks again for watching. Now get out there and start making some damn masks. Thanks, everybody.